A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, Mid-Hudson It's Wednesday, February 21st. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to hear rent stabilization cases in New York City, and advocates say that has a positive ramification for other communities, including those in the Hudson Valley. Rita Singh of Housing Justice for All says the court's decision should apply to the cities of Newburgh and Kingston, both of which have declared a housing crisis.
What we expect this to mean for the local challenges to rent stabilization in the Hudson Valley is that cities' decisions to opt into rent stabilization will be upheld.
The solution to New York's housing crisis is more stability for renters. Too many tenants in unregulated private rentals still live in constant fear of the next rent hike or eviction, says Sia Weaver, campaign coordinator of Housing Justice for All. Just months ago, Middletown City Police Chief John Iwanchu said the city's 23-camera street system would be enhanced with another 29. Now armed with a federal grant of $300,000 secured by Congressman Pat Ryan, more of those surveillance devices will be installed, the chief told the Common Council last night.
Our goals are, and we're working with our vendor now, to get cameras to the Wickham-Wisner area, to the Monhegan West Main area, and to the Dolson area. So depending on the build out of how much money, how far we can stretch this money, will determine how far we get those cameras. But that's our goal with that money.
Street cameras are a tool for the police in the event of accidents or crime taking place. Police have arrested a town of Wallkill man in connection with the early Sunday morning assault in the area of Whispers Cocktail Lounge on North Street. Wallkill police said in that 4 a.m. incident, 3 people were injured, 2 had been shot, a third was treated for a head injury related to the assault. None of those injuries were life-threatening, police say. At about 10:15 on Monday, police arrested Tyrone Minton, who's 51, of Wallkill, at a residence of 14 Kensington Way. He was charged with 2 counts of assault and criminal possession of a weapon. A one-car crash on Interstate 84 near the Newburgh Beacon Bridge late in the morning on Tuesday claimed the life of one person, state police say. The accident occurred around 10:30 when the vehicle struck a guardrail and overturned while traveling in the eastbound lane of Interstate 84 in the town of Newburgh. First responders at the scene indicated a second person was entrapped and had to be extricated. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
If you think your home cannot be stolen from you, think again. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center recorded close to 12,000 victims of real estate and rental fraud with losses of $350 million. Home title theft is when someone uses a person's personal information to forge a deed and steal their home. Sullivan County Clerk Russell Reeves says his office has safeguards in place to prevent that.
So for several years now, what we do is when we have a transfer of a deed or there's a mortgage against a deed, all people on record on that deed are sent a letter from my office saying that your property is being transferred or that something is happening to that piece of property.
That saved the ex-wife of Thomas Hyde of Wurtsboro from losing her home to Hyde, who was ultimately arrested for allegedly forging documents to steal the deed to her home. The north side of Poughkeepsie has a new memorial to welcome motorists into the city. It pays tribute to the late U.S. Navy Petty Officer Corey Ingram, who died in an explosion aboard the USS John McCain in 2017. The traffic circle at Smith Street and Creek Road has been renamed Corey Ingram Circle. A 39-year-old Port Jervis man has been sentenced to 2 to 6 years in state prison and ordered to pay some $7,200 in restitution relative to his previous guilty plea to arson. Steve Brewer was released without bail after his arrest, as the charges were not bail eligible as per the 2019 bail reform legislation. Brewer had fled to Ohio, avoided apprehension for 2 years, and had to be extradited to answer the charges. As alleged in statements made and documents filed in court, on April 18, 2021, Port Jervis police responded to a fire in the area of Riverside Park. He was seen near a garbage can that was on fire. He later spoke with police. Initially, he said 2 teens were responsible for the fire, but then admitted setting it, which damaged a cargo container used for storing bikes, helmets, and other items belonging to the Port Jervis Youth Program. A Middletown man was sentenced yesterday to 15 years in state prison, followed by 10 years of post-release supervision in relation to his previous guilty plea of criminal sex act. Trayvon Hudson, who's 28, must also register as a sex offender. He had previously admitted in court that being over 18, he engaged in a sex act with a child under the age of 13. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.